erano che decide. Naturale, quindi non posso... Non sempre qui. Si può carica al driver, beneficio o bulimia?
This particular pier is called Butler's Wharf Pier, and you see the Tower Bridge over there, one of the main tourist attractions. In a little while we're gonna go on. I'm waiting on my brothers. They're coming down from Wellingborough, and then we're gonna go on one of those river boats, take a tour from the river. Should be able to see better from there. Welcome to London, guys. This is the life of Amon Ralph. It's a lovely place to go or to visit. A lot of there's the Uber boat. I didn't even know that Uber had a boat, but there it is. The Thames Clippers river boat by Uber. It's pretty fast. You can do the tour by there too as well, on there. And yeah, it's a nice place to visit. A lot of nice architecture. It's beautiful. This is a nice little restaurant. See, I believe that's an eating place, right?
For our passengers that live overseas, I'll speak as slowly and as clearly as possible. We're just passing beneath the world famous Tower Road Bridge. The Tower Road Bridge is the only twin suspension battle bridge to span the tidal Thames. A battle bridge is basically a giant drawbridge. The lower centre arch of Tower Bridge can be raised in two halves to allow larger ships in and out of the upper hall of London. If you do want to see Tower Bridge raised, all you just have to do is Google Tower Bridge lifts and it'll come up with all the times and dates of the bridge opening. As we pass beneath Tower Bridge, look to your right. We have the Tower of London. The Tower of London is most famously known as a place of execution and a prison, but it was once a royal palace, a royal mint, and even a royal zoo, believe it or not. It's now the museum to the tower. If you look along the river there, just before the Tower of London, we have a top half of a bricked up archway. Above that archway, we have got a title quoting "Entry to a Traitor's Gate." This was once an open archway where any prisoner convicted of treason or murder at the Houses of Parliament would be rowed into that once open archway, have their heads surgically removed with rusty old axe, or be imprisoned for the rest of their lives. This was known as London's first on Bay Streets. Tracer's Gate is now bricked up to stop the Thames from flooding the boat. Tracer's Gate, the Tower of London. We have the large warship here in the upper pool of London. Hopefully you can see it as it is in the navy camouflage colours. This is the HMS Belfast. The Belfast was built in the same Harland and Wolff shipyards as the ill-fated Titanic. She now rests peacefully here as a museum ship with a full 7 decks to fully explore. That does range from the engine room all the way up to the navigational bridge. The Belfast has a total of 12 guns, 6 on aft and 6 on forward. These were last fired during the Korean campaign, in which she was the flagship for the United Nations. If we look beyond the Belfast, we have the large glass tall building, the Shard of Glass. The Shard of Glass is the tallest building in Western Europe. It's over 1,300 feet tall. The building does include a viewing platform at the top, where you can pay up to £45 to look outside a window, a 6-star hotel called the Shangri-La, a swimming pool, apartments, and then offices. To your right, beyond the river, we have the building with the 6 chimneys. This is Watergas House. This is where they train the lovely smiling people that rip your bags apart when you get to the airport. Then we have the sandy coloured building with the cold fish weather lanes. The old Blinsgate Fish Market. A fish market has stood at that site for over 900 years before the tradition was sadly broken. They had to move to large premises in the Docklands area. Now to your left, beyond that ugly Uber boat, we have the white and sandy coloured building. This is London Bridge Hospital. This is a private hospital specialising in heart attacks. And that isn't a heart attack you have when you enter that building, it is the one when you leave, when you see your hospital building. We're just about to pass beneath the new London Bridge. There has been a total of 4 bridges to span near or at this point off the river. The first one was built by the Romans almost 2,000 years ago and destroyed by an invading Viking fleet. The second one burned down during the Great Fire of London of 1666. Then the third one was slowly sinking. They took it down brick by brick and sold it to an American typhoon for a fee of £1 million. Now it's for construction over Lake Havason on the edge of the Arizona deserts. Now ahead of you is the Cannon Street Rail Bridge. If we go along the rail bridge to your right, we have the building with the 2 Victorian towers either side of the modern day building. This is Cannon Street Station. Originally, Cannon Street Station had a glass dome roof, but they took it down just before the Second World War, feared the glass dome would be hit during the Blitz. Actually moved that glass dome to a secret warehouse in Kent, and one of the first ever bombing raids to hit Britain. The secret warehouse in Kent was completely destroyed, losing the glass roof forever, and this land here to your right was kept untouched. Keep your attention to your right. Look underneath the first archway of Cannon Street Bridge. We have a balcony. Do be careful when you look over there. We do see many sites, as that is a sauna. Look, there's a couple of people there laying on sunbeds. We do see many sites over there. Some days we wish we never looked, and on the odd day we'll even turn the boat around and have another look. When we pass the Cannon Street Bridge, look to your right, you'll see one of the Thames rubbish warehouses. This is Walbrook Wharf. This is where they take all of City of London, all of the City of London rubbish and stuff it into those grey containers in that barge outside the wall. That barge has about 26 containers, or actually 30 containers. It's a larger barge than the others. One of those containers is 1 lorry load of rubbish. And if you think about it, that barge That's 30 lorry loads of rubbish, and a tug will come collect that barge on the high water. And a tug has 2 engines, and it is saving up to about 30 lorry loads of rubbish off our roads. And if you think about it, it's quite an environmental way of moving rubbish in and out of the city. We don't have to worry about congestion charge, traffic, and people gluing themselves to the streets of London. To your left, we have the white circular building with the thatched roof, Sam Wanamaker's version of Shakespeare's Globe Playhouse Theatre. In that theatre, you can see many of Shakespeare's plays being performed, such as Romeo and Juliet. And then I suppose you have the other good ones as well. Then we have the brick building with the glass roof, the old Bankside Power Station, now the Tate Modern Art Gallery. The Tate Modern is free to enter for purpose of seeing a cow and half a jar, an unmade teenager's bed, a Sainsbury receipt, and a load of rubbish. This is why the building was free to enter. If you do want to see a real piece of artwork, look to your right and sides. We have the Grey Dome and Golden Cross of Sir Christopher Wren's masterpiece, St Paul's Cathedral. St Paul's Cathedral took 35 years to complete, and it is the second largest unsupported cathedral dome in the world. The first largest being built in the Vatican City of Rome. Believe it or not, foundations to St Paul's are only 4 feet deep. It's where Wren himself and Lord Admiral Nelson are buried in the basement of the cathedral. Ahead of you is the Blackfriars Rail Bridge. Look at the top arm of the rail bridge. Was originally built in 1932 to define outdoor advertising laws. This is because the Thames is a raw highway. The only companies to allow advertising on Thames are to do with boats. And obviously also, that makes gravy cubes have nothing to do with boats whatsoever. So as you can see, the architect back in 1932 cleverly got away with these laws by incorporating the logo into the building structure. Ahead of you to your right, we have the white painted vessel with the yellow funnel. This is the HQS Wellington. The Wellington was a former sloop in the Royal New Zealand Navy. It's now floats a livery company for past Master Mariners. A Master Mariner is a captain who has been at sea for a long 25 years. It's also known as a retired drinking club for old men. The master of that livery hall was actually Prince Philip. Unfortunately, he did pass away. Before he passed away, he actually passed it down to his son, Prince Charles, who is now King Charles, actually thinking about it. Now, speaking of good old Charlie, look to your left, beyond the trees. We have the concrete building with the illuminated billboards, which is turned off at the moment. Anyways, this is our National Theatre. One of our top 10 leading architects, King Charles, quoted, "This is the ugliest building in London, and it looks like a back end to a nuclear power plant." But we all know Charles has a good knowledge of ugly things. Like this. I'm obviously referring to buildings. The National Theatre has 3 separate theatres. The biggest one being the Lord Olivier Theatre, which can seat up to 1,400 people. They named the theatre after a famous Shakespearean actor, Lord Olivier. We have Somerset House to your right. Look at the bottom of Somerset House. We have an archway. A little bit of Thames history for you. This is how far the river used to expand. The river used to go through that archway and flood the courtyard to Somerset House before the Victorians built the embankment wall. We're just passing beneath the Waterloo Road Bridge, also known as the Ladies' Bridge, as it was built by 70% female labour by the railway fighting for king and country. First bridge to be built on time and under budget. To your right, we have the building with the green roof with the Union Jack in the centre. This is the back end to the Savoy Hotel. The Savoy Hotel is the most luxurious and affordable hotels in London. The cheapest room over there is about £500 per night, and in that booking you do get a complimentary breakfast which includes a cup of coffee and a croissant. That is it. The stone obelisk along the embankment wall to your right, Cleopatra's Needle, presented to us by a very grateful Egyptian government for the help of defeating Napoleon at the Battle of the River Nile. That monument you see there to your right is from the and the captain. It's said to be over 3,500 years old, making it older than London itself. Ahead of you is the Charing Cross rail bridge. Either side of the rail bridge we have got two walkways. These are the Golden Jubilee footways. As we approach the footway, make sure you do give people a wave on the bridge. It is 5 years good luck, so make sure you do give them a good old wave as you do past me. If they don't wave back at you, they are more than likely lost, or they are probably from London. So do give them a wave, ladies and gents. You never know, you might make someone stay. See that couple up there, the brown and leather jackets? We actually pay them to be up there. When we pass beneath the bridges, look to the left, you'll see London Eye. The London Eye was originally built for British Airways through the Castle of Great Britain. It's now the #1 tourist attraction in London with a total of 32 capsules. Actually 31, as they do miss out the number 30, as it is unlucky. Believe it or not, the London Eye does have a wedding licence. You can get married on the London Eye today. What you do is you pick your vicar and your guest up at the bottom. You begin to say your vows, and once you read the top is when you kiss the bride, and from there it's completely downhill. Ahead of you is the House of Parliament, Big Ben, the Elizabeth Tower. This is where our British government does resides. This is where they like to speak a load of waffle and lie. Then we have Big Ben. Well, if that's, you can't see Big Ben today, as it is the bell that chimes on the hour hidden behind the clock face. The tower is actually called the Elizabeth Tower. As we approach the Houses of Parliament, we do come to our next major stop. This is Westminster. This is where this boat will be terminating. The next departure will be leaving at 4 o'clock, and it'll be this boat, and we'll be heading down street to Greenwich. Yes, that is it. Then after that, there's one more additional boat. You are under no obligation for anything into that bucket. It is purely voluntary on your behalf, as the guide was voluntary on mine. If you don't have any change with you, don't worry, we do accept Visa cards, MasterCards, credit cards, mobile numbers and Snapchats. God save the Queen, and thank you for travelling with Temporary Travels. Do remain seated for the time being, ladies and gents. This is for your own safety.
This is the London Eye. believe.
That's Big Ben, you can't see it because it's right behind the sun, in front of the sun.
So yeah, this is Big Ben, and Parliament buildings in the back. One of the cruise boats. And the famous London Eye. Taking pictures of each other.
They usually do that.
Way, shape or form, the bar is open downstairs, and you're more than welcome to bring refreshments upstairs if you wish. There's also snacks and hot dogs as well. Now on our way downstream today, down to the Tower and Greenwich, there are lots of places of interest, and I can point them out to you, talk to you as we go along. Now I'm not a professional tour guide, I'm just the other crew member on the boat, and I can do this for you. It will be in my version of English. Now, would you like that? Yes, 2 people. Okay. That's a crowd, isn't it? Okay, well, we'll start off on the right, the London Eye. It goes round. That's about it, to be honest. It doesn't really do much else. Now, you can get married on it as well if you really want to. I wouldn't recommend that though, marriage. But it starts at the bottom and you travel round. When you've reached the top, you pronounce husband and wife, you get to kiss your bride, then it is pretty much downhill after that. But London's top tourist attraction and can earn around £16,500 an hour. Now just over on the left we have a ship. Tattershall Castle. As you can see, the big sign says pub on the Thames. Now originally this ship came to London and was used as an art gallery. Now it went bankrupt in a year, turned it into a pub. It took more money in the first hour as a pub than it did the entire year as an art gallery. So that just goes to show you that there is a different kind of artist here in London. The Gothic building that's on the left, that's Whitehall Court Mansion. It's now part of the 5-star Horse Hotel. Now the bridge ahead of us, now this is up there. Now, because you're on a boat folks, it's okay to wave at people. So let's give them a wave. Hopefully they wave back to you. And if they do wave back to you, then they are not from London. Now we're just going to turn the boat to the left. There's just a couple of passengers on the pier embankment just on the left here. I'm just going to quickly pick them up, then we'll be on our way. Now as we turn, directly ahead of the boat here, you'll see a stone obelisk on the embankment wall. and this is Cleopatra's Needle. Now this was a gift from the Egyptian government to commemorate Nelson's victory over the French at the Battle of the Nile. There is another one of these needles that's in Central Park in New York. The building behind it with the clock face, this is Shelmeck's house, and the clock face on this building is the second largest in the country. The largest is on the Liver building in Liverpool. To give you some idea of its enormous size, the minute hand takes a whole hour to do one complete turn. I know, it's massive, isn't it? I couldn't believe it myself. Very big clock. You do get breakfast with that in the morning as well. Full English, even comes with 2 sausages, and they're posh ones as well. Ahead of us we have Waterloo Road Bridge, opened 1945. Now it is known as the Ladies' Bridge, as it was constructed by female labour during the Second World War while the men were fighting overseas. It is also central London's longest bridge, so well done to the ladies. We did hear that there was a man in charge at the time. Or maybe he thought he was anyway, but I often find that is the case. I'm sure many of you will agree with me too. So on the left hand side, the long building behind the trees, that's Somerset House. Now originally built for the Dukes and Earls of Somerset, it was later used for the Registrar of Births, Marriages and Deaths, which was also known as the Hatcham, Matcham and Dispatcham Department. Some of the building belongs to the Inland Revenue now, so they only catch them. Now on the right, the concrete looking building with a black board on the front there is the National Theatre. And inside the building is 3 separate theatres, bars and restaurants. It was voted one of London's ugliest buildings for just over 10 years. The small black and white ship on the left is the St Catherine. This was once the Royal Barge. It's now a private drinking club. The large white ship on the left is the Wellington, HQS Wellington. A former troop ship for the New Zealand Navy. It's now a drinking club for retired sea captains. Now just behind the ship you'll just see the stonework on the river wall. You'll see a carving of a head, and that is Father Thames, and this is called Temple Arch. And the Temple Arch is the boundary to the City of London. The City of Westminster we are now leaving, the City of London we enter. Now it is one of the smallest capital cities in the world at just 1 square mile. The other boundary is Tower Bridge, so we effectively pass through the City of London on our journey today. Now over on the right hand side, not many people may know this, but London does have many beautiful sandy beaches. There's one here on the right, the South Bank Riviera. Now, as over there in that hidden cove on them sun-kissed golden sands, they filmed quite a few things over the years. Baywatch was shot here. Even some of the Leonardo DiCaprio filmed the beach as well. So you'll see the building with the words OXO in the tower, also to the right there. This is where the old stock cube was made many years ago. The building was called Stanford Wharf, and this is now apartments, shops. The top floor is the Harvey Nichols OXO Tower Restaurant and Bistro. On the left-hand side, we have the building with a sloped green roof and spinneret on the top. It's the old City of London School for Boys. It's where many of our past Prime Ministers were educated, although they do say that it was a good school. A lovely view of St Paul's Cathedral as well. We'll see again the other side, but you'll see a lot more of St Paul's this side of the bridge there. Took 35 years to construct, completed in 1710. Now ahead of us we have Blackfriars bridges. Now if we look either side of the road bridge here, you'll see the stone columns have carvings of birds. Now these are all different water birds that can be seen along the Thames, carved into the top of each one. There's ducks, geese, swans and penguins. Then we have the red columns of St Paul's Railway, which was the first London to Dover crossing. It was designed by Isabard Kingdom Brunel. It became unsafe, so they took the top down, leaving the red columns. The replacement bridge was built directly alongside the Blackfriars Railway, and the train station has a solar panel roof, which now powers the train station. You'll see St Paul's Cathedral again on the left here. Now on the right we have the old power station here, Bankside, which is now home to the Tate Modern Art Gallery. It is free to go in. If you've ever seen modern art, you'll know why it is free. There is a bridge ahead of us, this is called the Millennium Footbridge. Now its official name was called the Blade of Light. After 24 hours it got nicknamed the Wibbly Wobbly Footbridge. As people walked across it on the opening ceremony, the bridge became unsafe and began to sway. They closed it for a year and a half, spent £7 million de-wobblising the bridge, and they're safe to walk on. Apparently there was nothing wrong with the bridge originally, it was just the way that people walk here in London. Now to the right hand side you'll see the white timber frame building, circular in shape, and this is a replica of William Shakespeare's Globe Theatre. Now it was the idea of the late Sam Wanamaker. He was a Hollywood actor and film director, and it was to recreate the Globe of Bankside. It is an open-air theatre. It all performs in period dress and costume. So if it does ever rain here in London, on that very rare occasion, you do get wet. But it does make for a good evening out. Also on some weekend day as well, sometimes you could catch a daytime show, matinee there, they can only charge around £5, so a good day out. So ahead of us we have Southwark Road Bridge. Now this is the narrowest and the least used road bridge to cross the Thames. Some say the approach roads are so well hidden that not many people find it to use it. This bridge is useless. Those few people you see up there are lost. Originally built as a penny toll bridge to ease congestion from London Bridge. The next bridge is Cannon Street Railway, and the train station is on the left. Train station, you'll see the two Victorian brickwork towers, and in between them is a modern office complex, which as you can see, all blends in very well. Now, we used to have a glass roof, but for fear of being bombed during the Second World War, the glass roof was taken down and stored in a secret location in Kent. It was ironic because the Cannon Street station never took a direct hit, but of course the secret warehouse in Kent did, and the roof was destroyed. Down on the right you'll see a black sailing ship, looks like a pirate ship here, and this is a replica of Sir Francis Drake's Golden Hind. He was the first Englishman that transatlantic flew on a ship just like that, back in the 1500s. You'll also see the Shard here on the right at London Bridge City, 1,000 feet high. There is a viewing platform on the 77th floor. It will cost you about £30 for that privilege. Thank you very much indeed. As I say, it's voluntary on my behalf as it is on yours. But thank you very much for travelling down with us at this point today, and we do hope you enjoy the rest of your day out today here.
You're gonna be a movie star. If you want to see yourself on
oh dear, really?
on YouTube, you gotta subscribe. Six-minute walk.
Free Wi-Fi service. Again, we do not have any free Wi-Fi on this aircraft. If you need to, please go ahead now and download anything you'd like to watch. We do have entertainment available on our televisions, but there will be no Wi-Fi available on this aircraft.
Ladies and gentlemen from the flight deck, we'd like to welcome you aboard JetBlue 20 to service to JFK. Today we're looking at a 7-hour and 48-minute flight from the time we take off from the runway and touch down into JFK, and about another 5 minutes to taxi into JFK. Beautiful day in New York right now, and we're looking at time of arrival. It should be about 18 degrees centigrade, and for those of us who speak in Fahrenheit still, it'll be about 64 degrees.
also a high-powered USB port at the bottom of your seat back screen. Please keep your seatbelts fastened until the captain turns off the seatbelt sign. When the seatbelt sign has been turned off, if you need to use the restroom, please wait at your seat until one is available. As a reminder, all flights are non-smoking, including